Oh, 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 yeah. Hey. It's the LA, baby. Everything happened for a reason. Shit scary, I'm a king like Steven. BMF, I get better every season. When I think about it, dog, I be cheesing. My whole life I've searched for the meaning. My whole life I worked for the greening. My whole life I've been plotting and scheming. All my life, swear I've been dreaming. So say, oh, you should take this tip. Make it out the rain, how you get this drip? Say, oh, you should take this tip. Make it out the rain, how you get this drip? Nick, what up?
How do I say it? All right. Welcome to Take This Tip Podcast, Episode 2. I'm your host, Shaun. This is Nick, a.k.a. Nick at Night. Mr. Only on Sunday ass nigga.
Whoa. Calm down, brother. All right, go ahead.
See, light skin activities. Anyway, welcome to Take This Tip Podcast. I'm your host, Shaun. This is Nick, a.k.a. Nick at Night, only on Sundays. Today we'll be talking about the journey, who inspired us on this journey, what trials and tribulations we may have went through on the journey to get where we're at today. I know a lot of times that we focus on the journey, but we don't actually talk about who and what around us got us to the journey.
It's a process, what we've been through in the past is what makes us who we are today.
Facts.
Who was someone that has inspired you?
The person that inspired me is my great-grandfather. He inspired me to be able to be the man that I am today. Without him, I wouldn't say there wouldn't be any me, but without him, I wouldn't be as molded and as consistent as I am now as a man. What about you?
There's been many people that have inspired me through the journey. Like people that I'll end up forgetting. I feel like I take something from like everybody.
Okay.
Just a little something from everybody. I've been fortunate enough to have met like really great people in my life, and so I'm really blessed to have met a lot of the people that I've met. But if I had to pick somebody, I would say my dad.
Okay. So what about your dad? What about him? Helped you become who you are today?
I'd say his values. He's just really a stand-up man. Honest, probably to a fault sometimes. He ain't too honest,
but it's being too honest. Can sometimes being too honest be bad or be good? And then does it depend on who is towards? You know what I mean? Like for you, was it hard for you at first for him to be completely honest with you, and then after a while you kind of got into the rhythm of okay, I know if I ask him something, he gonna be completely honest with me.
Nah, he's always been like that. That's
Okay.
just how I was brought up.
Okay.
He's always been honest. He only know one way. So
Straight and forward, man.
That's just how you get it. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
So that's how he is.
For sure.
And I would say I am like that to an extent,
Okay.
but I tend to pick my battles. I call it being too nice. You all right?
I already know how that go.
Yeah.
For me, it was my grandfather. My grandfather was like my father figure. Not to say that my father wasn't in my life, but that was my go-to God.
What about your granddad that really made it stand out rather than your dad?
He turned a house into a home. He was married. I didn't understand marriage until I got older, and I realized he was married. He had a great job, my great grandmother, great wife, and they loved each other until they passed away. And you can tell they were in love and it was genuine. And I can tell you this one thing that's crazy. People, y'all may not get, you may not understand, but they never argued in front of me. They never cussed each other out in front of me. They never had disagreements in front of me. So as far as I'm concerned, growing up, I didn't know what none of that was until as I got older and I had to experience things for myself. So that's why a lot of times Like when you see me, I'll be so like laid back and collect. It's like because I'm not accustomed to that necessarily, you know.
Do you prefer traditional?
Yeah, I do, because I was raised that way, you know. Like he instilled in me to no matter what. Like for example, if you wanted your wife's hair done, nails done, things like that, it was your responsibility. Like if you, cause you know that's it then, cause then it translated or transitioned. He did things for her like that, but then when he came home, he always had a hot meal waiting. Even if it was late at night, 11, he don't get off till like 10:30. He don't get home till 11:45. Like, you know, things like that. Like he never had to worry about the house being the house, you know, because he always made sure that he took care of the bills, the, you know, everything.
Some of y'all taking that a little too far, but we're gonna talk about that in another episode.
Facts. We definitely gonna talk about that because I get it, but I mean, you know, it's, yeah, we're gonna come back to y'all though.
It's all good.
But yeah, he basically like taught me the right from the wrong, and I say that a lot. I said there's a difference between right and wrong. There is no in between. And that but is that, oh, I'm right but or I'm wrong, but like we gotta, as people, I feel like we gotta cut that out. Like it's either you wrong or you right. Stop trying to justify the right and the wrong, or I'm right because of this, but I'm wrong. No, it's either this way or that way. Stop trying to blend it in and make it beautiful. It's, you know.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where I see myself in 5 years, I see myself as an RN. I see myself as a successful black man with my own business that I have, a successful podcast, you know, and keep creating. You know, I believe in generational wealth. I believe that 6 different incomes will create generational wealth. And that's what my grandfather instilled in me, and he also showed me, you know. He blessed me with the opportunities to stay around him and be around him for hours, and he just poured knowledge into me. A lot of stuff I don't even share because I know like how great it was, you know. But yeah. What about you?
Successful at whatever I choose to do. That's just having some type of just stability.
Okay.
Definitely stability, and just hopefully, you know, changing some people in my circle lives. That's what I'm really focused on.
Okay.
But let me ask you this: what do you do if none of that happens with you?
To be honest, I don't even think like that. I don't think about I don't have a plan B or a plan C. I just have a plan A, and I'm gonna get it regardless. You know, yeah, I may get stopped, but I've learned how to run through shit. Sorry, excuse my language, but I've learned how to run through things and obstacles, you know? Like for example, Sunday, I had an obstacle where I lost, you know, a friend of mine, and one of them, God bless, just happened to make it. Thought I lost that person too, but you know, I could have fell off the deep end. I could have went left, but I sat down and I prayed, and I could just hear my grandfather like, are you willing to throw everything in which you're working towards away for 5 to 2 minutes of something that in which you know you can never come back from, or you may not be able to come back from? And once I kind of heard that in my head, it ain't worth it, you know? I'm gonna just let go and let God. What about you?
If that doesn't happen for me, I've learned to pivot. I'm always thinking about the next move.
Like a Euro step.
Yeah, definitely. But definitely, like, you know, because one thing about life, things are always changing.
That's a fact.
You know, I don't know what 5 years from now looks like, but I'm gonna do my best to prepare myself
for what that 5 years, for how you want your 5 years to look. It's a fact.
Because one thing I learned is, you know, I feel like there's like 2 types of people. Either let things happen to you, or happen, or you be ready. for whatever happens.
If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
Exactly. So I'm gonna pivot.
Okay.
But never lose track of, you know.
But okay, so then questioning, as you're pivoting, what happens if you get tripped up? Because a lot of times, what I call trip ups distractions, meaning, what if you trying to move out the way from this coming towards you, but then something else is like something that you wasn't supposed to run into is right there too. Like, how do you maneuver through that? Because sometimes, obstacles get thrown at you, like you said.
That's the pivot. I expect things to come. Nothing's ever gonna just be
fine and dead.
Yeah. It's never just gonna be like that.
Yeah.
I expect things to happen. I expect things to change, and you just gotta be ready for those things.
Yeah, and that's another thing I always say. If you stay ready, you never gotta get ready. And there's no risk, no reward type of mentality. Meaning, if you want to be successful and you don't want to take the risk to become successful in life, then you're not gonna get a reward in that. You have to be able to manifest it, but then as you're manifesting, also create it. Put the right people around you, because a lot of times you think you have the right people around you, but at the same time, sometimes you got to sit back, analyze things for what they are, and then make your move. And just know that everybody cannot go to where you're going. Sometimes God created your lane for a reason, and whoever's supposed to be with you in that lane, if y'all merge together and create and keep creating a lane, then that's cool. But don't get mad when you lose a friend on your journey, or sometimes it may not work out. Maybe they just need to be there so that you can move forward. It's not to say you can't go back and get them. At the same time, you got to be able to continue to move forward.
I have a different perspective with that. I feel like if somehow you fall off of where I'm going, not to say that I'm not coming back to get you, but there's a reason why you fell off.
True that. But sometimes
because I believe in everyone can't go where you're going.
Of course.
Some people are just around just for a season.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, different people come in your life and they're here for the moment, and they're just, like I said, here for a season. And that's all they're meant to be there for.
Okay. But then look at it this way too, though. What if that same Euro step you're doing, they're trying to learn behind you so that they can do it too?
That's not my job. It's everybody's, it's their story.
Yeah.
I'm not writing your story.
Okay, so
it's your responsibility as an adult to move how you move in, and to get these things and get where you're trying to go as a person.
Respect.
That's not my responsibility to hold your hand on my journey.
Okay.
It's your journey. You're the captain of your ship.
Yeah. So, with that being said, my next question. What defines you? Like, what defines Nick to be Nick? Like, what made you Nick? Like as a part of that process is what I'm trying to say. Like, what type of process did you go through to be where you're at right now?
I had to go through a lot of, I want to say trauma, but you can identify it as trauma at a young age. I had to go through a lot of that, from being like homeless. Me and my mom and my brothers and sisters, we had to sleep in a van some nights. We didn't make it to a hotel before it was closing time. It was rough.
Yeah.
I had to go through a lot of things that people don't know about.
Yeah.
But all those things would makes me who I am today.
It's a fact.
Either, like I said, you let things happen to you, do something about it.
Yeah.
I could have let that affect me and hold on to that, but that's not the end of the story.
It's not. It's never. And just want to put that out there. Never let some type of trauma be the end of your story. As Nick just said, like, continue to move forward, because sometimes you get stuck in that space and that's it, and it's so much more to life in which, you can progress in and prosper in, and tell your story and motivate the next person, to move forward as well. And a lot of times we as men, we hold that stuff in so much, and it's so overbearing to where we either lose it and get stuck in that spot, instead of deciding to, hey, let me just hit the gas and just go, you know?
I want to talk about that real quick.
Okay.
About being a man and just kind of embracing the journey. I know as men, we tend to we hold this we give ourselves a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes we take on pressure that's not even meant for us.
Yeah.
And I'm at a point now where I'm just enjoying the journey. I'm not pressed for it. When it happens, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If it's for me, it's for me.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and also, where are we going? We trying to speed through this thing for what?
Yeah.
We don't know what's waiting for us 5 years from now. We going nowhere fast.
We can create something that may last for those 5 years, in which, you know, as we talked about, but that doesn't necessarily mean it may last for those 5 years, you know. But I do get you, but
we're going nowhere fast, you know. Not to get biblical, but I'm gonna hit you with one.
okay, go ahead.
All right, if I can even remember it. But God says that He'll exalt you. Okay, and I'm trying to remember it. I'll exalt you, and I'll give you the. I can't even think about it. I forgot.
Is it like the things that you need?
Yeah, it's something.
Instead
I'll give
of the
you all
things that you like, all that you need instead of what you want, or something,
yeah,
like that.
to
Don't quote me on that, please. Don't come in the comments.
I gotta
quote me on
I
that.
gotta get back in church, bro. I didn't forgot it. But
well, that's another thing. We're gonna talk about that too.
To that extent, though, you know, if it's for you, it's for you. You know, don't press it. Don't. You know, not to say that don't work hard.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Don't go for what you want. Be consistent.
Most definitely.
But know that it's a journey. It's a process. It's part of it. Like you asked me, what makes you who you are today? If I didn't go through these things, I wouldn't be who I am.
True that.
You know what I'm saying?
True that.
Also, if God gave us, or you know, whoever you believe in, if you got everything that you wanted, right when you wanted it, do you think it
wouldn't as mean as much as
it might not even be as sweet as you wanted? You know? What I'm saying? It's just too easy. It came too easy.
Yeah, it came way too easy.
So you know, just enjoy the journey, enjoy the process.
Okay, so question: since you brought up the biblical part, I just want to tap into that a little bit. How important was going to church for you during your journey, like as of right now, like made you the man that you are, I should say. Like, how important was that to you?
I didn't grow up in a church.
Okay.
I started to go to church a lot more when I got older. And the only reason why I started to go to church was because one of my friends, his mom used to always pressure me and she did pressure me into going. She used to text me all the time, hey baby, we having a service, you know.
Like try to put you in the
hold
choir
the
type
speaker
stuff?
there. No, not the choir.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I know you can sing.
I can hold a note. but yeah, she used to like ask me multiple times. She used to stay consistent.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? One of these I'm gonna go.
Okay.
So I ended up going. And then after that, I just went like probably like 4 or 5 years straight, church every Sunday. Yeah. I even was going to Bible study. So I was even going to Bible study, you know. But I would say that is also what makes me who I am today. Because without that part of my journey, I don't think I would be as patient. I wouldn't have as much faith as I have.
True that.
And you know, it's just a part of the piece.
Okay.
The puzzle.
For me, church was important. So my great grandmother was a nurse, certified nurse, or should I say licensed nurse. So she used to practice nursing in the church. Like, you know how like they wore, like some Baptist churches, they wear like their white nurse suit, like, or set up for church with the hat on. Yeah, she was that. So for me, if I went over to my grandparents' house for the weekend, you best believe my mom is sending me in some type of church clothes, and I'm going to church, and I'm there all day. So it did help my upbringing. My granny though, here's a plot twist though. My granny, she was Catholic, And the Catholic church that I also went to was up the street from the Baptist church that I went to. So it was like, okay, I go here, I go there, and you learn different things, and then, you know, you meet other people around you, and you kind of see what not to do and what to do, you know. And yeah, I'm not gonna say I was the best child in the world. I was a problem child. I got into fights. I talked back. I did a lot of that, you know. But as you get older, you start to learn, like, you know, people were only trying to help you, to build you to be who you are now, you know, to not be problematic, to not be so combative and so, you know, as soon as somebody says something, you gotta get defensive, you gotta do this, do that. So as a man, I'm starting to learn that a lot, you know, especially working where we're working now. Like, I learned that you gotta have patience. You gotta have patience sometimes, because right now, some people are just misunderstood. Like, for real, a lot of people are misunderstood. You know, I was a misunderstood. I say that because I was a misunderstood child.
Hold on, you think the problem is they misunderstood up in there?
No. Sometimes they are. Sometimes if you really sit down and you talk to somebody and understand their story, it'll make more sense as to, oh, they're just flashing out and crashing out just because of what you see. Like, you don't know their story, you know? Like, sometimes us as humans, we place judgment before we get to know that person. That's why I say your energy introduces you before you introduce yourself. And sometimes the energy that you introduce sometimes may automatically give people that's around in that area an energy of like, okay, I need to stay away from you, because your energy isn't giving welcoming, it's giving problem. You know,
I feel like we always got a choice. We have a choice on whether how we want to react to a situation. I'm gonna bring up a story.
Okay.
Right? So, Mario, I would say this story. I was pissed off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to go pick up my brothers, just about to slide to the barbershop to go get a cut, right?
Okay.
I was running late. But this is my boy, right? Mario, my boy, I think he understand, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, I ain't gonna be able to cut y'all. I'm gonna be able to cut one of y'all.
Okay.
I got heated. I said, what you mean you be able to cut us? I start going 90.
Wait, hold on.
Bro, I start going 90. But I call him, hey, I'll be there like maybe 10 minutes late. I'm like, bro, I'm thinking because it's like, it's three of us. Like, that's literally because he breaks it down in 30 minutes. So yeah. I'm like, I got you at least for like an hour or two. It's not gonna take that long.
Yeah.
Right? Bro, I get on the phone. He's like, no, I ain't gonna be able to cut you. Like, he's not changing his mind, bro. And as he's talking, I'm getting pissed. So then he hangs up in my face. But I got to point to this. I get there, I'm pissed off. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, bro, chill. He's gonna cut him. But he made the choice not to get upset, not to go where I'm at with it, because that could have ended somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
And there was no need.
He had full control.
Yeah, full control of his environment. Yeah. But then again, it's like, do you think the communication could have been a little better? Because he could have just told you, like, hey, look, I got somebody else to cut him.
He probably want to be mad, though.
But
He's probably laughing. He probably this motherfucker really mad right now. He probably waited for me to get there.
He's like, yeah, I know he's finna be mad when he get here. You think I can't cut him, little dude? You know I got somebody already.
No, because I pushed all the way from Torrance all the way to LA. I'm like, bro.
So you doing 80 on the main streets, running around
for nothing.
Yeah, nah, I got.
But we all have a choice.
Yeah.
We choose how we want to respond to a situation, and
So you can say that we can say that making certain decisions in life is basically stating that's how you choose to navigate your life as far as like how you want to be and where you want to be. Because sometimes you show somebody something, and then it'll stick with them, and they don't even want to see what else you have to offer anymore. Even if you really, like, for example, you could have the best business proposal and you getting ready to pitch it, but you just got into it with the person's secretary. Now they don't even want to see you no more because you got into it with the secretary. You know what I mean? So it's just like how you said, you gotta learn how to pivot through certain situations navigate through, because a lot of times we don't as men.
It's about picking your battles. As a man, I feel like you have to be mindful, but really think about your decisions. Because a lot of the times our decisions that we make, it's not just for us.
It's for the people around.
We're making decisions for our family, especially if you're a provider, you know, for the future. You gotta be very careful what you do and what you say.
But that don't
That's
mean
why I
walk, but that
always
doesn't
say
mean
pick your
walk on
battles.
eggshells though, you know?
No, I just say pick your battles. I'm not telling you to be soft, you know, be a man at all times, but pick your battles though.
Facts. Okay. So
It takes a bigger man to walk away from something.
yeah, for sure. Because there's been a lot of times I could have easily went off on some people, but I'm starting to realize, like, is this worth it? Because me going off, it's only raising my blood pressure, which can possibly put me in the hospital, or could possibly keep me away from my family. So why not just let you say what you're gonna say? I'm gonna respect it. I don't have to agree with it, but I'm gonna respect it enough to be like, okay, and just move forward. You know, I'm really starting to learn that, and I hope people, you realize that sometimes you don't have to argue with somebody just because they want to argue with you. A lot of times you can walk away. You can listen to their point of view, and you can understand it, but that don't mean you gotta agree with it. You know, people have disagreements. It's life. It's going to happen, rather if you want it to happen or not. Like, Nick not gonna always agree with me. He may not always, you know, like, hey, look, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. What you think about it? Oh, well, he may say, no, we should do it this or that way. And then we come to a middle where we agree, okay, look, we can both get what we kind of want, but let's make it make sense at the same time, you know?
So talk about, you kind of just spoke a little bit about it, but talk about where you're going right now.
As far as what?
Process. Where you at mentally? Where you going?
So, a couple of days ago, mentally, I wasn't there. You know, rest in peace to Honcho. Friend that unfortunately lost his life, and kind of hit me a little different. I didn't understand why. It wasn't really making sense until I sat down and I started praying, you know? And, you know, my process is like, if I don't do nothing else, I'm going to pray about it. And I'm going to do my best to let go and let God, and do my best to move the negativity away. That's my process. Because sometimes I did fall off on the deep end. I was ready to do something. I was ready to make a move, but me making a move was wrong. It was dead wrong, and there wasn't no in between to that. The right thing to do is to let go and let God, and let God handle it. You know, a lot of things was in God's hands, and I know as a man, I have to start to realize that. It's been rough mentally, you know, but even though that happened, I still got up and I still went to work the next day. I tried my best to go to work. I tried my best to keep my head up high, and it was just hitting me too hard, man. And it's like the line of work we're already in, it can get a little tricky, you know, a little complicated, but at the same time, it was helping me understand that, look, yes, you're going through this, yes, you're going through that, but chin up, chest out. Euro through it, as Nick said, and, you know, keep it pushing. You know, yes, you can grieve, and you can take time to grieve, and, you know, be there for the people that you need to be there for. But at the same time, you got to move forward, because I'm starting to realize this. Even though people pass away, life continues to move on, regardless if we hear or not. Regardless if you hear or not. It's always going to be movement. There's people driving past who you could be gone, and people are still, okay, let me get ready for work. Let me see what my kids are doing. Let me see if my family's okay. You got to be able to find a way to take that negative energy and turn it into something beautiful, you know, like we were going to originally, you know, when you asked me like, hey, do you want to just take some time and, you know, not do the podcast? I said no. And I told you why. Because at the end of the day, I gotta have forward progression. I can't just sit in that spot, because if I sit in that spot, you start to think, you know, and then your mental just shifts to a different direction, and that's not who I am as a man. I'm not gonna let the negative take over me and try to turn me into something that I'm not, because I'm not.
Do you feel like you have to change your circle in order to succeed?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of that, and I know that, you know, eventually, you know, I'm gonna have to move away from certain things, and I'm doing it slowly, and maybe I do need to speed it up, and maybe I do need to focus a little more on what I'm trying to actually do, and know that, look, whatever's going on over here is what's going on over here. I dealt with it the best way I could. I gotta keep moving forward, you know, and that was the point of me being here today, is to, you know, show you guys that no matter what you go through in life, keep pushing. Let go, pray about it, let go and let God. Keep your faith, you know, and just lock in with you, because like you said, you can only help yourself before you can try to help somebody else. You gotta make sure you're good mentally, physically, because if you don't, you can be good physically, but if you're not good mentally, you're discombobulated. I don't know if that's a word, but it's a dysfunction somewhere, and it doesn't help the fact that, you know, you sit in a space and you don't have, you know, the right resources around you, you know, and like I said, I could appreciate it, you know what was going on. You feel me? You was there, you know. You tried to talk to me and tried to make it make sense, you know, and I listened, but I ain't gonna lie to you, I wasn't trying to hear it, but I understood it, because eventually I'm like, look, it happened, I can't control it, I can't bring this person back, I can only pray that he's in heaven, and move forward, you know, because, man, it's...
I felt it because just the end of last year, it's a similar situation.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I lost my granddad. It was real sudden, and I tried to go to work.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think I ever cried like that. I never really cried, but I cried so much. I think I legit cried myself to sleep. I went home, Gigi sent me home, and I legit cried myself to sleep. It was tough. That was the first person I lost that was close to me, and it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
So I felt it because I was in the same situation. You know, that's also somebody that really inspired me. You know, and is a reason who I am today. Yeah. So he's definitely, you know, missing me for real.
Yeah.
I used to, every time whatever I would do in life, man, like I would call him, hey, guess what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And it was always just positive.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to do something to just call him.
I felt that way with my great grandfather, man. I feel you.
And, you know, I remember when I became the lead and I called him, he was like, hey, so you the boss now, huh? Because he from, you know, Louisiana.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He
got
boss
the
now,
accent.
man. I was just like, I ain't gonna never forget that, man.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna continue to keep climbing that ladder, keep achieving things.
Use that
Because
as fuel.
I know he's watching. You know, I know he's expecting that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna definitely do it.
yeah, I could say the same thing. Like my great grandfather was in the newspaper. He knew a bunch of people, and you know he wanted to, you know, show his family like, hey, look, I have resources and opportunities for you, but you have to be willing to listen to me. And I was one of the ones that sat there and listened for hours and hours, and like to this day, I can still hear, you know, some of the little quotes he used to tell me, you know, and you know, every time I do something or make it like set a new goal and I achieve it, I'll just look up and be like, Granddad, I did it, man. I got where I was supposed to get to, you know, but it's not over though. It's not over. Like I used to dream about, you know, starting my own business, getting a podcast going, like doing something productive and giving out my testimony to people out in this world who may not always understand, you know, because sometimes some people, I'm one of those people where I used to feel like nobody else was going through what I was going through. Like, it was just me out here, like, why every time I look up something is going on, happening to me? And then you sit around and you hear other people's stories and it's like, okay, I'm not actually alone out here. It may not be the exact same story, but it's a similar story, and you can relate to it to where it'll kind of help you mentally be like, okay, I know that I can have people around that'll be here for me as well as I can be here for them, you know? And to be able to, you know, put light onto certain topics and discussions that's going on.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was something that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about those who are struggling with the journey.
Yeah.
They don't know what the next move is. They don't know what, you know, a year from now it's going to be. No one knows.
Yeah.
But it's seeming like really uncertain for some people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
the next move, I would say, is to just keep going.
Yeah. I was one
The
of those
story
people.
is still being written. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end. Just keep going. Stay with it. You know, embrace the journey, because this is what makes you who you are today.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are unique and just wonderfully made, and you know, in our perfect way.
Yeah. So question, what clicked in your head? Like, what particular day that you can remember when it clicked in your head and you be like, nah, I ain't going out this way. I gotta make something shake around here. Like, I gotta make some type of move. Like, what day, like, you know, it's like, okay, the switch is on, I'm gone, I'm taking off.
I don't feel like it was ever really a certain day.
Okay.
I just feel like I've always, like, just growing up, I just knew that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted more for me. I wanted more for my family.
Okay.
So I always just knew that. I always felt that. I saw the nice things, and I saw, you know, all these different things and what this person had and what we didn't have.
Yeah. Okay.
I always knew. I always felt like I needed to do something.
Okay. Yeah. For me, the day that clicked for me was I was on a bus stop. Summertime. It's probably like 2014. I just lost 2 jobs, car, pretty much everything was gone, and that was my fault. I hold myself accountable for that. Something clicked in my head the day I got on the bus stop. Right, the dude pull up, got on a new pair of shoes. He's like, "Hey man, listen." He's like, "Where you off to?" I was like, "On my way to work, my first day. I just got a job at Nordstrom Rack, Fox Hills. I call it the Fox Hills. I don't call it nothing else." And he was like, "Look, man, I'm gonna tell you something. You gotta get off this bus stop." He was like, "How much some shoes cost?" I said, about 2 something. He's like, "Look, how many times you buy shoes?" And I knew where he was getting to. He was like, "Look, as much money as you spending on them shoes, you could have bought another car by now." He was like, I could tell your mental's there, but mentally you still focused on the look instead of getting something that can get you to the look. He was like, "Get the car, man, and then go get the look." He was like, "So what if you gotta have on raggedy shoes or this or that?" He's like, "But you gotta get off this bus stop, man." He was like, "Cause nothing's going to come off this bus stop." He was like, "And I've seen you before." He was like, "You know, and I can tell you locked in." He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, I'm in school, you know, and I'm trying to, get my life back together. He was like, well, continue to do that, man. He was like, but stop buying shoes. And I promise you, I stopped buying shoes for like, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. You can ask my mom. I got some shoes. Because this was like when I worked at Millennium Shoes. But before that, so every time a shoe came out, we got paid every week. I bought the shoe before it came out. And then I worked at Home Depot. So Millennium Shoe check 1 week, Home Depot check 2 weeks.
That's crazy. But it's crazy how, some people just, random people.
Yeah.
You never know. It's crazy how it happens, man. Like, random people can just inspire you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And ever since that day, though, I got that Mustang. I promise you. And since I got that car, I transferred to the big Nordstrom, and I transferred to where we at now, all because of that guy. So shout out to that guy, whoever you was. Thank you for the advice. I was blind, I guess you can say, to see it. I was too busy looking at the material things in life instead of the actual goal to possibly get me to something better. And now that I screw the material stuff, I'm focused on my goals in life. And my goals in life is to be a black, successful man, who can share a testimony with my brother and give you guys an understanding as to this podcast is much more than what you think it is.
Man, it's also because you didn't give up.
Yeah.
You kept pressing forward.
Yeah.
And I know it was hard, like, trying to come out of my situation when I first started, man. I was working Monday through Friday at a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
It was hot as shit. I was working probably 14-hour days.
Yeah.
And then I had to get up early because I had to catch the bus. So I used to have to get up maybe 5 in the morning. And that's like just straight out of high school. So I used to get up 5 in the morning.
Before Uber?
Man, before all that. Cold as shit on the bus stop, boy.
Rainy days,
Really.
Summer nights.
But, push through that, and then also I had school every weekend, so literally no days off. So I'm used to the no days off kind of thing.
Yeah.
Literally. But, I didn't give up. Even though I thought I might have to drop out the program, just kept pushing through, man. It was always somebody there. Always somebody there to just help me. That's just unexpected. It was always somebody there.
Yeah. So sometimes you don't see the help coming. Sometimes God will bless you with the help before you even know. Like you think like, man, I'm in my wits end. What am I gonna do? And then you just sit down and breathe a little bit and refocus and realign yourself and just keep walking. The help will kind of guide you and help you to where you want to be at. I didn't even think I would see this day, man. Because I was used to doing so much by myself and trying to make things shake, and sometimes you need the right people around you to kind of help you get to where you want to get to.
Yeah. Shout out to all those people that have been through
Shout
the
out
journey.
to y'all.
Been there.
Yeah. Keep going. Don't never lose focus. Never stop. Never stop. Because when you stop, you get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, sometimes you lose sight of the other common goal, like where you actually want to get to. Like, you want the podcast, or you want this job, but do you want to be the owner, part owner, CEO? Like, you want to be the manager, the supervisor? Where do you want to get to? Because just because you made it into the job doesn't mean that it stops. Keep going. Like, and I get that, and you see that. Like you said within yourself.
Yeah, it's about not being complacent.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, we all get caught up in it. I was complacent.
Yeah.
I was working at Hertz before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that my thing is the medical field.
Yeah.
Before that, I was in the medical field when I was at Hertz because it was just so easy. Check every week, it was so easy. I didn't have to worry about nothing. It wasn't really any type of critical thinking, anything. Guess what happened? That pandemic came. Laid me right off.
I was just about to say, you had a job during the pandemic, because Nordstrom did the same thing, but they didn't call it layoff. They called it temporarily.
I knew, man. First of all, I knew because you start to hear like, oh, these people losing their job, man. We was on the route, me and my boy Nacho, shout out to Nacho, and crazy ass. We was on the route, and next you know, boss called me. He ain't never called really. So shit. So I said, hey, what's up, boss? Hey, where you at? They on the route. He's like, hey, come on back to the office when you're done with that drop. I looked at Nacho. I said, all right, it's gone. We drove back. These papers,
So it had nothing to do with the performance. It just due to the pandemic.
Just the pandemic. Nobody was renting cars. Everybody was scared. But you see the progression, man.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Even through a pandemic, I was still making money.
Yeah.
I never, thank God, but I never missed a payment or nothing.
Yeah. The pandemic actually helped me create Champ Life Clothing. During the pandemic, I always wanted to make a brand for myself. Like I said, 6 different incomes to me will create generational wealth. So that was the first one. I knew that I had to keep that name in Inglewood because I'm from there. So, and that's why we say the word champ. That's where that comes from.
Oh, that's
so
our word up there?
Yeah, like they be like, "What's up, champ? How you doing, champ?" Like it's just a part of the lingo.
Okay.
And we got that from City of Champs. Like when you come to Inglewood, it says welcome to Inglewood, City of Champs.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's where we got that from. So I had to keep something like that in together, and it just clicked, man. And since then, it's helped. And since shout out to Inglewood High School too, I want to say that if I wouldn't have took that silk screening class and that I think it was called like a digital like graphic design like on like the computer, if I wouldn't have took those 2 classes, I wouldn't have known how to make shirts. So everybody used to say, oh, Inglewood don't provide nothing. They said you're wrong. They gave me some type of tool and I sharpened it, and I'm out here cutting shit up. You hear me?
There's a lot of resources. We just gotta choose if we want to use them or not.
Yeah.
Or how we want to use them.
Yeah, most definitely. And it opened up, like for example, because I didn't have a job, so I was on unemployment.
I'm still waiting on my crew neck, man.
You gonna get it, man.
Listen, on that crew neck for 2 years.
No, it's not.
I got the shoes already waiting for it.
Okay, what color?
Yeah, all black with the red, the pop out letter.
Okay, see.
All right, I'm gonna hold it to him. It's on camera.
Don't worry. The next, what size?
I can't tell. I've been in the gym though.
That's what I'm saying.
Just wait. Let me get in the gym a little bit longer, then I'll tell you. So
okay.
We're coming down.
Yeah, no. Yeah, for sure. So to double back on the journey, right? Who's somebody right now that's helping you through your journey that's new in your life?
The people that I have around me have been around me for a few years.
Okay.
Most recent though, I would say you. I would say Mario. I would say George.
Yeah.
Good people,
Good people.
Yeah.
Good people. Shout
Good
out to
people
Mario.
always
Shout out
find
to
me.
George.
It's so crazy. Good people always find me.
Mario's actually been with you. It's just you just didn't see it at first, cause you was about to tear his head off and lose a relationship, but because he stayed calm, cool, and collect. Shout out to Mario, man.
I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? I'd say some shit, but I ain't really. Not to say I ain't.
You like you was finna come shake the room with your brothers.
Yeah, I don't do nobody like that.
No, I'm just playing.
But yeah, definitely. Good people always around you. You do good. You just move with good intentions. Good people will find you, man.
Yeah, I know for sure. One person I can say is you. Of course, Mario and George. Without you, I wouldn't have met them. Good people, and I can tell that people that you have around you have a common goal too. Like You know, and I always say this, and my grandfather taught me this. If you want a certain thing in life, like for example, if you want a house, you want a certain car, certain lifestyle, start hanging around those people who already have what you want, because they'll teach you the steps and give you the game as to how to get to that. You know, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like if you utilize that and just sit there and just listen to understand and don't give a reply, you know, until they ask you like, hey, what do you have going on? What do you want to do? Give your answer. I don't want to get too biblical, but there is a part in the Bible where Jesus was going to be brought up to I believe like the court of like the king, and his disciples were worried about like, oh, what should we say? Like, what message or how do we go about this? And he just basically told them, if I'm not mistaken, he said, you know, everything that needs to come to you will come to you. Don't worry about it. You know, pray to God, and God will give you what you need to say, regardless of the outcome. What you need to say will be said.
Right. They also say faith without work is dead.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, like, after knowing Mario, this dude gonna get whatever.
Regardless.
Man, I be sitting in church, I'm, hey, look, I'm about to get this truck, man, cut my hair, man, I gotta be at work in 30 minutes. I be like, you know, get that shit out of here. But, man, this dude, I pulled up, he's sitting in the truck.
Yeah.
I said, this motherfucker just go get it.
Don't miss.
He just go get it. Whatever it is, he just go and get it, man.
Yeah.
So much respect to Mario for that, man. Shout out to Mario.
Sure.
And George, man, George got his own, you know, his thing, his business. You know, I remember when I first met George, seemed like it was kind of, I don't really know the to the full effect, but it would seem like it was like on the road mostly. It was kind of, you know, then after a while, I see that he's sending me like little flyers and stuff like, well, we got a studio now, which is nice, you know.
Yeah.
He's on the come up, so you know, shout out to George, man.
Yeah,
Things are happening for for these people, and grateful to have these people, in my circle, in my life. You know what I'm saying? So and even you know, you got your own business. You know, I don't have my own business, so I'm looking to you guys as motivation to make see what I can kind of pick from each and every one of y'all.
Yeah. Well, this is the start.
Yeah.
You know, and believe me, any help, you know, you need, let me know. I'm here. You know, any questions, let me know. I'm here, because at the end of the day, yeah, we may individually want ourselves to win, but I want everybody around to win too, as a whole, as a collective. You know, sometimes people are selfish with that, and that's also a part of the journey too. Even if you have people around you who are selfish, meaning that all they want to do is just worry about them being around you so that they can win, instead of just being there with you just because they are interested in and they have love for what you want to do. You have to be able to identify that, and I call it cut the weeds. You know, remove the unnecessary material from off the shirt, in which I don't need, because it's like crabs in the bucket effect.
I call them leeches.
Oh, okay.
Some people suck you, fucking dry the life out of you, man.
Man, for no reason.
And then those are the people you gotta be careful, with.
Yeah.
They're just around for the benefit.
Self gain.
It's around for the benefit. You know what I'm saying? And those types of people should not have in your circle at all.
Whatsoever. You know, gotta definitely remove them. Another question. How important is it to always take time for yourself, like on a mental note, because that is a part of your journey, like how important is that for you, to like, hey, look, I may have to drive somewhere to like, I don't know, like a movies or a mall or something, or just anywhere. How important is that to you?
I think it's crucial because I feel like it's important to take a step back sometimes. Because sometimes life can get crazy. It doesn't mean you're running from anything and the journey stops.
Okay.
Just taking one thing that I was young, and one of my neighbors. His name's Nate. Shout out to Nate.
Shout out to
He used to always see me like just getting up. I used to be up earlier than everybody on the block. I had to go get my clothes washed.
Okay.
So I throw all of it in the bag, and I'll throw it on my back, and I'm pushing maybe like 2-3 blocks. This heavy ass bag. And he used to always tell me. He used to always see me because he used to get up early too.
Yeah.
So, you know, he kind of helped me get into like the medical field.
Okay.
And one time we were talking, and he was asking me all these questions, and I told him, you know, I'm just trying to save and, you know, do all this. And one thing he told me I'll never forget. He said, "You can't take it with you when you go." I was telling him all these things that I wanted to do by the time, and he said, slow down. Slow and steady wins the race.
Every time.
He said, slow down, enjoy the process. He said, you got time. Time is on your hands, right? You know, on your side right now. You're young.
Yeah.
He said, just enjoy the process.
Shout out to Nate, man. Shout out to Nate.
So, you know, a good tip.
My tip of the day would be to stay focused on you, to watch the people that surround you, to keep God first, to always make sure that no matter what happens in life, to keep moving forward. You know, yes, there are going to be obstacles that come your way. That doesn't mean that you stop as a person, man, woman, moving forward. Like how Nick says, slow and steady wins the race. You know, yeah, you may want to get to where you want to get to, but you got to put in the work to get there. You can't just, let me sit up for this one. You can't just sit back and think that things are going to come to you. You got to go get them. Whatever it is you want, you got to go get it. You can't just sit back. Because when you sit back, you get comfortable and you just stuck pretty much. So continue to move forward. Continue to always have progression. Progress. Never lose focus on the goals. Even if it takes you more than 5 years. But what is for you will be for you. You know, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, Shaun. Okay, go ahead. Because you said leave a tip, so I ain't. Okay, go ahead.
If I had to leave y'all with something today, I would say, don't focus on how long it takes you, where it takes you. Just enjoy the journey. You know, if it's for you, it's for you. Don't compare to everybody else's journey. It's yours. It's different from the next person because it's specifically for you. It's made for you. And don't give up. Keep pushing forward, keep moving forward. Challenges occur, changes come, life happens, pivot, get right back on track.
So thank you guys for tuning in with us again on another episode of Take This Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Shaun.
I'm Freak Nick.
And we out. End on that note.
It's the LA, baby. Everything happened for a reason. Shit scary, I'm a king like Steven. BMF, I get better every season. When I think about it, dog, I be cheesing. My whole life, I've searched for the meaning. My whole life, I've worked for the greening. My whole life, I've been plotting and scheming. All my life, swear I've been dreaming. So say, oh, you should take this tip. Make it out the rain, how you get this drip? Say, oh, you should take this tip. Make it out the rain, how you get this drip?